It's incredible.
Efficient.
Groundbreaking.
Exciting. The next generation.
What we saw with our old system was that it was a data repository and just kept statistics, but it wasn't a robust, interactive system that would allow us to facilitate our judicial operations. We didn't use it on the bench, for example. We didn't use it in the courtrooms other than to record data.
Our presiding judge, Norm Davis, had the idea to challenge our Court Technology Services Group and our business users, court administration, to develop a modern-day case management system.
We've started in criminal, and currently it's operational in our initial appearance 24/7 in custody court, as well as the initial appearance summons court for defendants that are not in custody. We're handling probation violations with the system today, and the pretrial services portion linked with our initial appearance court is also done totally with this.
Sir, would you state your full and complete name? With this process, I can go to the 11 o'clock calendar tonight. I can look at the cases that have already been booked in and scheduled for 11 p.m., and I can start reading the Form 4s. I can start reading other documents that have already come in on that case. And as it progresses, I can continue to watch that case and watch the information develop on my screen. I can even start working on my release orders at this point in time, not making a decision as to what release will be, but making sure that I've got the right court set, making sure that we've got the right type of hearing set, making sure that certain boxes on the release order are checked as far as release conditions, making a determination if I need additional evidence a lot earlier than I did before. Being able to pull up off the docket, the actual minute entry or motion that was filed, and look at that without having to go into iCISng and search for the case and find that case. That is probably the number one thing that's been beneficial to us. Under the old process, everything was printed out, starting with the Form 4 coming in from the police officers, to all of the information provided to the judicial officer to make a decision, as well as to record his decision or her decision.
I'm going to go through some questions. What is your date of birth?
4/2/55.
We interview the defendants prior to going to initial appearance court to see the judge, and we collect information, background information, social ties to the community. We run their criminal history, and if they're on probation or parole, we notify the proper departments, and if they need to place a hold or if they're wanted, we note it for the judge. iCISng has become more convenient for us. At first, I think it was just getting used to all the programs, all the different changes after using paper for so long. But now we see the benefits. It's more convenient. Each of us can be working on the same person, running criminal history, and then another person could be doing the interview, whereas before we would have to wait, or vice versa. We would have to wait for the product to be finished before we complete and put the packet together for the judge. So now we're able to work ahead on the docket, and we're always like one step ahead.
In the past, we had to go into multiple systems, either run a criminal history, check on a defendant. iCISng has put it all on one page, so where we can just have links that we can just go into each of those and just pull them up, and then just put them all into our criminal, add them into our, upload them into our criminal history reports.
As to both charges, I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. When the system was being developed and as it was initiated, they came and said, what do you want to see? And I said, well, I got to see this, this, and this, and this, and it would be nice to see this, this, and this. And now the way they've developed all the screen, it all pops up on the first screen, and if not, it's within one click, and I can get all the information on any case within a click. Initially, when you see the case calendar on the left-hand side, you will then see all the icons that tell you all the things that need to be done or are not done, and then you can accomplish them, and all the icons then remind you to do that. Additionally, we have a warrant flag that will tell us if a defendant has an active warrant. It reduced the amount of the spontaneous complications that occurred in a courtroom. Those are all reduced because now that you have so much information so easy at your fingertips, you can prepare.
In the summons process, the defendant can check in for that hearing online and complete much of that information online in lieu of having an interview with the Pretrial Services Division.
Now I'm going to hit the Submit to Court button, and there it's gone. It's in judicial review now.
After being alerted that there is, in fact, a petition to revoke to review, I go to my computer, I log on to my iCISng system, and it's very simple. The automation has been nothing short of amazing. A process that frequently would take 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks before a warrant was actually entered to a police agency who could respond to it. The process now is sent electronically. All of the different computer systems work together, and it's not uncommon for the whole entire process to take less than an hour once it's been submitted from the probation department. And in reality, usually it's done in no later than 2 hours. So it's remarkable. It's a great improvement on public safety because it gets the warrant in the hands of law enforcement literally almost 2 weeks quicker than it was in the past. And another ancillary sort of unintended benefit is that the number of errors have virtually ended.
In the electronic world, you just sit down at your computer, you push a button, it goes to your supervisor pushes a button basically, it gets to the court, and within minutes you have a petition to revoke and a warrant. And one of our really great success stories was a couple of weeks ago. We had the U.S. Marshal's Office involved in an arrest with a person, and within 20 minutes of starting this whole thing, we had everything that we needed and we were able to arrest the person right there. So it's incredible.
I received an electronic search warrant from you requesting a DUI search warrant blood draw.
30 to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour to get a search warrant back. It was quite cumbersome in the van processing in the days of old when we were using fax. With this new system, it is as quick as 4 to 5 minutes that we can get an e-warrant back from the judge, signed and served upon the suspect. Our job is to process DUIs in the most efficient manner. That aside, we're also dealing with blood evidence where alcohol is dissipating by the minute. As the quicker that we can get that warrant back and obtain that blood evidence and get it impounded, the better we're going to have, the better the evidence is going to be for the case.
The officer and the field can be typing up his search warrant request at the scene, send it to us, be sworn in, and have it granted before he gets to the DUI van or to the substation to actually draw the blood. This cuts down an enormous amount of time. Not only that, we are using standardized search warrant forms. The commissioner is very easily able to find the information that he is or she is looking for on that form and knows exactly where on the form it's going to be located.
The public is more and more used to technology. They use it in their personal lives and their business lives. They expect more from their public institutions. They expect us to be more efficient, to meet their needs faster, and to deliver it in a manner which they can relate to and fits in with what they do. We've also had financial struggles, as most courts in the country have, and the new technology helps us to do more with less and to be able to train the workforce easier when the function is embedded in the system, and it's just a matter of learning the functionality in a screen. It's easier to train people and get them up to speed faster.
The reason it's important to have a modern-day case management system is to gain all of the efficiencies that we can gain and to be able to move data instead of documents to the next user. We will finish criminal court, and then we'll move the same concepts to our probate department, our family court department, our juvenile department, our civil department, our justice courts, and all of the other areas. And so when we finish, in those areas, their business processes will be re-engineered, and there will be as many paperless processes as possible.
It will assist all of our judicial officers to avoid errors. Anything that can be quantified by a computer, for example, the legal system is filled with functions and hearings that must be held within specific time periods, or conversely can't be held until specific time periods have passed. Maybe a divorce decree can't be entered until the waiting period is passed. The computer can flag those, can make sure that those events happen. It can make sure that we are managing our cases. It can report on cases real time. The system is designed to focus on the termination of a case, from which most of the important core tools and statistical measures come from. The number of cases you have, the clearance rate, the time to termination, all come from a correct termination date. Those will be entered automatically by a system, by a computer. When the terminating event is triggered, a judgment's entered with no hearing set in the future. It will improve compliance with court orders, where if a judge orders, for example, that a fiduciary bond be posted within a time frame, or an annual accounting occur in a probate case perhaps, that the computer will flag that, send out automatic responses if those things are not received.
This is incredible.
I wouldn't change it.